From Chicago streets to the courts beat, South Scott Dan on the podcast seat. Bulls breaking news, talking stats and views. Every player, every play, we never lose. Horns over hoops, we're the Bulls troop. From game analysis to fan scoop.
What's good, Bulls fans and Horniacs, and welcome to another edition of the Horns Over Hoops podcast. We are your hosts for the evening, Sal Bass, Scott Berman, and Dan Gracie. Gentlemen, cue that Alice Cooper music because school is out for the summer. And what I mean by school is out, I mean another Chicago Bulls season, regular season that is in the books. I'm really excited about this one because we finally get to do a report card style episode for everyone on the roster. We're going to be breaking down every player, two-way, regular player. If you're on your team, you get a letter grade, top to bottom. So I'm really excited about this. However, before we get into it, I got a trivia question for you guys. Like usual, we like to start every episode out with a trivia question. And since you guys cheated and looked at the last one, you guys cheated and looked at...
Was it us cheating or you putting the answer in the outline?
All right, a little bit of both. So we have this for those of you who don't know what Notion is like a online paper database where you could share notes and what have you, and that's what I write all my outlines in. And I absent-mindedly put my trivia question and the answer in the Notion, so my co-host snuck a peek at it. Nonetheless, I have a different one for you guys. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
In lieu, not Lou Aldang, but in lieu of the
Lou
Chicago
Dort?
Bulls. Lou Dort, yeah. In lieu of the Chicago Bulls season being over, I would like to ask you guys, what season and how many games did the Chicago Bulls register their longest losing streak?
I would have to say this is like Tim Floyd, Chicago Bulls.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, this is probably like 2001 is my guess.
I was going to say
2001 or 2002. And I would say we probably lost like 15 in a row.
Okay. Dan? Just a stab.
Ditto. Oh, I think it's probably, I have a feeling it's the early 2000s. I just don't know what year, but 15 losses sound right.
You guys are actually almost spot on because the Chicago Bulls in the 2000 and 2001 season registered a total of 16 consecutive losses.
Nailed it.
You guys were almost spot on. And for those of you guys at home asking me, why would we start a show off with negativity? Because the question that I had asked initially was, what was the most consecutive games that the Bulls have won, also known as what's their longest winning streak and what year? And they saw the answer. That answer for you guys who didn't get invited to my Notion community and see the answer for yourself was 18 games in the 95-96 season. Everybody knows that during that season, we registered a total of 72 wins, 10 losses. And unlike the Golden State Warriors, we actually won a championship when we broke that win record. But nonetheless, gentlemen, it's report card time.
Before we go to that, how did Tim Floyd coach for 4 years and never have more than 17 wins for the Bulls? How did he make it 4 years?
Your guess is as good as mine. I guess
that's it. That's impressive.
Jerry's cheap for a reason. It was before they just fired coaches to fire coaches.
With Mike being out of the league, I guess there was no viewers to actually tell them they were doing bad. I don't know.
That checks out.
Yeah. But again, fellas, it is report card time. Dan, you've always had good report cards, right? Your report cards were always pretty spot on, no?
I mean, I was a C average student, so
hey, that's good.
I'm not an idiot, but I'm not super smart. So I mean, just average.
You are
You're
you're above average in my
guy.
book. You are above average.
Thanks. My mom tells me the same thing.
Scotty B, how are your report cards? I feel like you were a solid B student.
No, I was well in like grade school and high school. Like I didn't care, so I would occasionally get a B, but mostly C's. Once I got to college and understand how easy college actually is, and you just have to show up and do the work, mostly A's and B's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you're also for your particular profession. I'm sure there's like legal students and doctors who disagree with you, but for your particular field of study, it was easier for you, correct?
College is a breeze.
Yeah, because I know I'm going to have.
Well,
I'm gonna have half
I didn't go into
lawyer.
I only got an associate's degree, so I didn't go into like high level like concepts. So it was like base gen ed stuff. So it was literally just show up to class, do the homework. Hey, you you have a project. There's 30% of your grade. Do it.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
college, it's not really that hard. Show up to class. That's how you pass college.
I'm gonna have like dozens and dozens of like lawyers and doctors say like, oh yeah, you think it's that easy?
Well,
again, I said I did gen eds and got an associate's degree. It's completely different than higher level education.
Yeah, it's like me with trade school. Like as long as you just show up and do whatever you're supposed to be doing. So like work, just show up, do what you're supposed to be doing, move on. But yeah, if you get higher education, like I'm not going to tell a doctor like, oh, I bet you schooling was a breeze for you.
Nonetheless, everybody on this team will be getting a report card in the form of your standard A, B, C, D, F. I don't foresee us handing out too many Fs just because everybody seemed to play at or there of expectations of this season. So I'm not anticipating a lot of Fs on this roster. However, before we do get into our breakdown and our report cards, I just want to give a little disclaimer that our letter grades here are based on the performance alone, are in no way meant to criticize any players or induce any sort of negativity. More of the story is we're calling it like we see them. We are basing our letter grades off of, did the player meet the expectation? Did the player do their job throughout the entire season consistently? And does this player show any sort of positive outlook for the future or any sort of progression? I do ask you, gentlemen, please try to keep injuries out of it because it's really not their fault they got injured. For instance, I don't feel like giving Lonzo Ball an F just because he's been hurt for 50 games of the season, but grade him accordingly on the time he spent on the court. With all that said and out of the way, I'm still going to have a million angry people in the comment section.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
We still love them. But with that being said, let's jump right into it. We're going to be going in alphabetical order according to last name. And how fitting is it that our very first candidate up is Lonzo Ball? Gentlemen, Lonzo Ball has registered 7.6 points per game, 3.4 rebounds per game, 3.3 assists per game, while shooting 36.7% from the field and a very, very nice 34% from three-point land. Gentlemen, how would you grade Lonzo Ball for the season?
Honestly, I gave Zoe an I for incomplete.
Okay.
Just because like he got hurt this season like he normally does. And we just haven't seen him. When he did play, he was playing really good. So like I'm sure if he played the regular season, I'm sure it would be probably like a C or a B. But just because he played 30 games?
35.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him incomplete for did not complete the season.
Okay. Scotty B, what would you rank Lonzo Ball?
So I actually gave like plus and minus. Like I went super into this.
Yeah, you got into it.
Yeah, I literally spent like 5 hours doing this at It might have been at work. Yeah.
Just show up and do what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I gave Lonzo a B+. Like right on the edge of an A, but not quite. His comeback this year was amazing. Everybody except Dan thought his career was over. Every single person ever, except you and Lonzo, thought his career was over.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, no one believed he was coming back. There was videos of him sitting, like standing up from a chair. You were so excited, and it's like, cool. He can stand up. Can he play basketball? And what did he? He came back. He came back this year and looked like the old Lonzo. Like he wasn't afraid to play defense hard. He was jumping into crowds for balls. He was playing like he used to play before he got hurt. So he absolutely deserves an A or a B+. He signed a really team-friendly contract this year. And I really think it's more of trade bait because with how the team's performing, I don't really see a place for him on this team. Either him or Ayo are going to be gone next year, I believe. But I really kind of feel like the Bulls are going to try to trade him just because he has shown so much more than Ayo, and you could probably send him to a contender if he is healthy. So him signing that team-friendly contract also made me bump up his grade. But what Lonzo did coming back this year, amazing. Just wish he could have stayed healthier and played more for us.
I like it. And it's for that I'm giving him an A, and it's for those very same reasons. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it and repeat everything you said. But his comeback story was incredible. He had basically an entire knee replaced, and it's actually pretty cool because he was actually sitting with the family, or he took a picture with the family where he got the knee replacement from. I think it was, I don't want to get in the exact logistics because I think it was a 20-year-old who either passed away or something like that. And they took his knee, gave it to Lonzo, and nobody ever thought this man would walk again, let alone step on the court and still play at an elevated level. It's just incredible. And for that, you did. Well, I apologize. Dan Gracie was the only person who thought that Lonzo Ball would come back again. And for that, I think it's rightfully so that right off the bat, we assign our first A to Lonzo Ball, per my opinion. So, and a big congratulations to Lonzo for coming back. That's well-deserved. Gentlemen, moving on to player number 2. It's a player that we've come to all fall in love with since the day he got drafted, and that is Matas Buzelis. Little Boozy, Boozillionaire, whatever you want to call him. Insert a million nicknames here. Gentlemen, Little Boozy has registered 8.5 points a game, 3.4 rebounds a game, and registered almost 1 assist while shooting 45% from the field and 35% from the three-point line. Gentlemen, what letter grade would you give Chicago's own Matas Buzelis?
A+, without a doubt.
Okay.
The beginning of this year, he lacked so much confidence. He seemed lost. He looked like a normal rookie coming in, but he really couldn't shoot. Billy did not trust him at all. Billy put him on such a short leash and was pulling him so quickly. Mm-hmm. But throughout the year, we saw him gain a lot of confidence. And show why he was the projected number 1 pick before last season. The G League Ignite continued to ruin players, and it really it took him a while to break out of the rust. But in January, we really saw when he started to take his jump. His shooting jumped from 36% to 47%. From December to January. We saw him start stepping up on defense. He is basically guarding the team's best player. We saw him guard KD We saw him guard LeBron. Like, he's not afraid to guard people. He was basically in February, he became the starter right after the trade deadline. And he has not gotten out of the lineup at all. Since then, I think he's averaging a block a game, at least one block a game. What he has done this year, that is something you want to see every rookie do, is go from, hey, I'm getting in the league, I'm trying to learn, to turning into a player that if he was doing this all year, he'd be running away with the rookie of the year. Like, he has shown that he's kind of like, I've kind of foresee him as what Luol Deng was for the Derrick Rose Bowls, where he's kind of the guy that we expect to play defense on some of the best players in the league. But when we need him to go off, he'll score some points. He'll drop 30 points if you need him to. So everything what he has done is great. And for as much as people have talked about how bad this rookie or this draft was and this rookie class was, there's some really good players in this draft class.
Yeah.
And he's kind of showing that he could be up there. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if after this season we see a redraft and he's not a top 3 player.
Yeah. Maybe.
So,
yeah. I'd love to see it.
Top 5 for sure.
A+.
Yeah. Yep. Took all that away from you, Dan. Sorry.
It's okay.
Dan Gracie.
No, you're good. You're good.
Dan Gracie. What letter grade would you give your guy?
Boozy?
Yeah.
So I gave Boozy a solid B.
Okay.
And it's because of what Scott said in the beginning of his statement. It was because, when he started, he seemed like just your everyday average rookie going into the NBA, and he was making like all these silly mistakes, and Billy was pulling him real quick, so you never really got a chance to see what he could really do. But post Levine trade, he did step it up and everything. I do think if Billy started him in the beginning, he probably would have been a candidate for rookie of the year.
I agree. Good rating. My letter grade that I'm going to give him is I'm going to give him an A-. I know 2 A's in a row. This is like the most straight A's I've ever gotten. 2 A's in a row. Dan, have you ever gotten straight A's?
No. My highest grade ever was a B in math, and I'm terrible at math, so I have no idea how I got that B.
It was probably a B for be gone. Okay. Anyway, I'm giving Matas an A just because based on how he won the fans over, his athleticism, he surpassed expectation, his ability, like Scott said, to pick up the best player on the other team and defensively, and just the confidence that he shows when he's going up against them offensively. I feel like this kid is going to be pretty close to a generational talent, and he's definitely going to solidify himself in Chicago Bulls history for many years to come. And I'm looking forward to building around Matas Buzelis. I can't wait to see more next season. So for that, giving him an A-. But speaking of straight A's, gentlemen, I don't foresee the A's continuing because our next player up is Chicago's own Jevon Carter. Carter registering 4.1 points a game, almost 1 rebound a game, and dishing out 1.1 assists per game, while shooting almost 40% from the field and 35% from three-point land. Gentlemen, be gentle. What grade would you give Jevon Carter?
I didn't even do Jevon Carter.
Based off of your expectations.
Well, no, based off my expectations, I didn't do him mainly because like he's a third stringer. Like, I don't mean that as like a disrespect to him. No, like every player has their role, and Jevon, your role is garbage minutes. You're the vet in the locker room. Like, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Don't get me wrong. So if I had to give him a letter grade of like meeting expectations, I guess I would give him I'll give Jevon Carter an A because you did exactly what we got you to do. And it's not much. I don't expect much from JC, so I'm not like, okay, you did exactly what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
There you go.
I respect that.
person.
I respect
only
that.
A.
I respect that. Scott Berman, what would you give Jevon Carter letter grade wise for the season?
I gave Jevon Carter a D+.
Okay.
And the reason I gave him a D+ is he's played 72 games last year. He's played 35 maybe this year. Like, for a guy that was our solid rotation player, he can't show Billy he's good enough to do that again. Like, we signed this guy to be a guy off the bench that hits threes. And we can't count on him to play defense. He's a problem when he's on the court. Like, he's come in and shown that he can do that, like what he was doing in Milwaukee, but I expected him to be a rotation player again this year. And clearly he has not shown that to Billy, or he does not care enough to try. The few minutes he does get, he tries to play well, but really,
Nah.
I
I hate those pull-up threes that he does. He just runs up to the line and just chucks it up. Like, that bugs me.
Yeah.
He's bumped down to a B for me now.
Yeah, he had one game where he scored 26, but other than that, I don't think he scored more than 10 points. I'm more surprised that they cut Craig over him during the trade deadline.
Yeah, well, we also saw more of JC than Taylor Craig.
Yeah.
Oh, because of his size, you're saying?
Yeah, it's like,
wasn't Torrey hurt? Like, injuries were a problem with?
Yeah.
Plus, Billy loves his guards.
Yeah,
I guess, but it's just like, I'm more surprised he's still in the team. Really, I don't see him in the league next year.
No, same.
Okay.
I think he's probably going to get cut, and no team's going to pick him up. So,
the only teams I can see picking him up are like contending teams. Like, maybe the Bucks will bring him back or some shit.
Maybe, but D+.
I gave Jevon Carter a C-, and that wasn't for anything other than the fact that if you go through why I'm breaking down the letter grades, did he meet expectations? Well, what really was the expectation for Jevon Carter on a team that clearly was going to move past him? I feel like when we got Jevon Carter last year, it really backfired on us, and we realized that's not what we were going for. I think they just made a signing to make a signing, and that's fine. You know, Jevon Carter, when he's on, he is a lethal 3-point shooter. Granted, he does throw up those shots an awful lot. Again, he didn't really fall short of expectations, because I don't really know how high the expectations were. And that's not a knock on Jevon Carter. That's just me saying that I believe that this team was going in a different direction, and his role was most suited for if a player gets injured, or I don't want to say garbage minutes, but if there's a surmountable lead, he goes out there, he plays his whatever he plays minutes a game, and then he calls it a day. You know, do I think he'll be in the? I think he'll be in the league next year. I think that his 3-point ability and his speedy and his athleticism, as far as ability to get up and down the court, I think that a team will pick him up, maybe a contending team, but I don't really foresee a lot of teams flocking for a Jevon Carter. And that's not a cut on Jevon Carter. That's just me saying that his play style is not really fitting. That's all. So that C-. Again, not disrespecting the man. I'm just saying we really didn't have many expectation for him. So, all right, gentlemen, moving on to our first newest addition. That would be Zach Collins. Zach Collins registered as a Bull, 8.4 points per game, while grabbing almost 7 rebounds at 6.9 and dishing out 2.1 assists, all while shooting 54% from the field with a nearly 30% 3-point average. Gentlemen, how would you rank nearly half a season of Zach Collins? What letter grade would you give him for the half season that he basically played?
I gave him a C+, only because I only saw half of what he would bring to the table. I've been on here calling him like pretty much the modern day Taj Mahal. I think a full season of Zach Collins will probably bump him up to like hopefully a B, like a solid B would be nice. And I really do think that he's gonna be the starter next season. Everything that I did see from him, I liked. It's just I didn't see enough of him to like really, I guess, grade him accordingly. Maybe it's the word I'm looking for.
That's a good way to put it. No, it's a good way to put it. It's a good way to put it. I like it. Scotty B, how would you grade Zach Collins?
I gave him a B. I would say he was the biggest surprise of the Zach trade. He was basically a center that barely played in Sacramento. In San Antonio.
San Antonio.
But again, that's obviously because they're trying to give as many minutes as they can.
Yeah.
To
Wemby.
Why can I not remember? Yeah, Wemby. But the big thing is when Vooch got hurt, he stepped in and looked like he could be a starting center. He plays great with Giddey and Coby on the pick and roll. And he isn't afraid to box anybody out. Even if they're bigger than him, he will play hard in the post. He gets rebounds over everybody. And really, he's the reason why we don't, like, Sticks isn't playing at all. He has shown that he, like Dan said, he could be our starting center next year. Like, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. Like, he could absolutely be the starting center for the Bulls. But
I like it.
I really wouldn't be surprised if the Bulls re-sign him after next year when his contract's up, or give him an extension at some point next year. So
I expect them to.
B.
Okay. I like it. Scott, me and you must have been cheating off each other here because I have Zach Collins being a B-. Going into that Zach trade, I really didn't expect much out of Zach Collins. I thought that the big prize in that trade was Kevin Huerter, and where that may be, we did get a good supporting cast and a good backup center, and like you guys both said, could very well end up being the starting center going forward, depending on the Vooch situation, depending on the draft situation. Zach Collins did step up in a big way and prove that not only can he be a part of this team, but you could also find him in the starting rotation altogether, which for that gives me a B-. That letter grade, although already pretty high, would have been, like Dan said, a little bit higher had I seen more of him, more games. I feel like the role that he got traded for, it was just too easy of a role to surpass. So it's kind of like, it was like a gimme. I'll say he was like a gimme. What I mean? Gentlemen, our next player is another Chicago's own. However, we didn't get to see very much of him, and that is Scott Berman's boy, Ayo Dosunmu. Ayo registered 12.3 points per game while grabbing 3.5 rebounds per game. He dished out 4.5 assists a game while shooting almost 50% from the field and almost 33% from beyond the arc. He did only get to play 46 games with us before leaving with that injury. Gentlemen, what letter grade would you give Chicago's own Ayo Dosunmu?
I gave him a C+, B-.
Okay.
He's hit his ceiling. Like, he's not going to get better. He's a good bench player. He can give us 20, 23 minutes a game. Really, this year, he struggled at pretty hard the first couple of months. Like, he couldn't shoot at all. He kind of looked lost. He was getting beat on defense. Towards the December, January time, he really stepped it up, and we started to see back what Ayo used to be like the last couple of years. There's games he'll go off and score like 20 points, but really, this is kind of what he is. He's going to score 15-point max a game. I just feel like he's kind of one of those guys, kind of like Zoe, where there's too many guards on this team, and the Bulls may move on from him. As much as I love Ayo, I really wouldn't be surprised if the Bulls move on from him when his contract's up next year, or they try to trade him next year, just because he can contribute somewhere else. But I would have loved to see him in this new system. I think he would have done well just because he's one of those players that is constantly moving.
Mhm.
And that's kind of what this new system is. But really what we saw before he got injured, he was fine. He's a bench player.
Okay.
Like, he didn't surprise me. He kind of just did what we kind of expected. I just wish he was more consistent shooting this year compared to his previous years. He was a lot better. So, yeah.
Perfect.
C
All
plus,
fair.
B minus.
Okay.
It's all fair.
Dan Gracie.
I gave him a B minus. It's because you could tell that his role like increased. He had a little bit more playing time. He improved his 3-point shooting. He was a little inconsistent. That's why I didn't give him like anything higher than a B. Yeah, I think that next season you'll see Ayo fit into the system. He'll be plugged right in and do just fine. If the Bulls do trade him, I would expect a decent haul in return. I feel like Ayo does have potential. But like Scott said, he probably will be best as a backup, a solid role player on a team. And I feel like you could plug him into any team really, and he'll be great.
Yeah. Good explanation. I'm going to give Ayo Dosunmu another B minus. And that's just because of the fact that he is playing the way everyone expected him to play. I will give him a little bit higher of a grade. I'll actually upgrade that up to a solid B just because of the fact that the man is probably arguably our best two-way player that we have. Unfortunately, all signs are pointing to maybe he won't be on the team next year, given his high style of play. It's going to be very highly sought after in this offseason and potentially going into next season. There may be a team, which we don't know the ending to the NBA Finals right now, who's looking for that guy, and Ayo Dosunmu just came to the table. So grading him on how he performed as a Chicago Bull, I'm going to say that every time Ayo Dosunmu stepped onto the court, we felt a difference in the game. I felt that momentum swings were high factors when he was in the game. This young man definitely hasn't hit his ceiling yet, but I'm interested to see what his fate is going forward. But for what he was supposed to do, Ayo did his job every single time that his number was called. Gentlemen, are you ready to take a trip to the land down under and grade, probably arguably, one of the most controversial players on this roster? And that is quickly becoming our favorite player, and that is Mr. Joshua James Giddey.
The Slab Wizard.
Yes, sir. Timothy Chalamet, the guy that looks like the guy from Willy Wonka, whatever nickname you have for him, Magic Giddey. What letter grade you giving him?
So, start of the season, going up into the Zach LaVine trade, I would probably give Giddey honestly a C plus, just because he looked a little lost out there. He was clicking well, but like there was, I don't know if it was Zach or him, but like something wasn't firing all cylinders. Now, post Zach LaVine trade, I gave him an A because the kids, since Zach's been gone, he's been averaging almost a triple double. His defense has gotten better. His shooting has gotten better. Arguably, maybe even his passing has gotten better. He's gotten better pretty much all around since Zach's been gone. And in previous episodes, we were debating if Giddey was a building blocker who you build around. And I think now that Zach is out of the picture and we see what this team looks like without him and with Giddey on it, I would say build around the kid.
Okay. I like it. Scotty B, what do you got?
I gave him an A. Like Dan said, the first 2.5 months was hard for him. He couldn't be trusted to finish games. He was getting pulled during crunch time. He couldn't defend anybody. He couldn't shoot. He would randomly have one game that we would see his potential, but most of the time it was kind of like he's a good point guard, like he can pass, but like what else can you count on him? Like I felt like he kind of was like old Chris Paul. Around the middle of December, I was kind of looking up his stats. That's kind of when Billy started trusting him, and he seemed to turn into a way better player. Like he started to shoot better. He started his turnovers went way down. He was turning the ball over like crazy at the beginning of the year. Really, he did not take a step until the Zach LaVine trade, and I think that's because Billy said, "This is your team. Run it how you want." And you really saw the difference. In January, he was averaging like 10 points a game, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. In February, that went up to 20 points a game, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds. His game completely flipped. And you see it, how much he's like running the game. Like when he's off the ball, he is telling people where to go. He is freeing up the areas for Coby to succeed. And that's another reason why we saw Coby take such a big step too, is because Giddey is telling players where to be, and it's a completely different team. In April, he is currently averaging 20 points a game, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists. Those are MVP type numbers. He set himself up to kind of get like a $150 million contract, 5 years, $150 million contract. He has set up a perfect system with Coby, and he is exactly what we've been needing. We've been talking about, we need a point guard.
He's pretty much what Zoe should have been.
Yes. I expect him to be the centerpiece of this rebuild Bulls. And also new nickname, King Giddard and the Slob Wizard.
I love it.
Interesting. Okay.
I love it.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the point of the show where I've given the highest grade. I'm giving Josh Giddey an A+. He's the only player on this roster I give an A+ to. And that's because he's shown exactly that. Beginning of the season, he came out questionable. He's turned into not only the best player on our team, but could be a top point guard in the league going into next year. He's getting a triple-double or toying with a triple-double almost every game. By halftime, he's almost there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And not only that, he's becoming what we like to call that dynamic duo with Coby White. We just heard that nickname last episode, the Fro and the Flow, where we were questioning what was going to be the fate of our backcourt. We have now solidified ourselves as having probably a top 5 backcourt in the league at the start of next season. We'll see. I am interested to see what his paycheck's going to be, because after a season like this, you're going to need to get paid. That man has registered a very, very good season. I have nothing but good things to say about Josh Giddey, and for that, I'm giving him my A+. And very thankful that we made that trade and acquired him. So, gentlemen, next up on our list is another Chicago's own, and that is another quickly becoming fan favorite, Mr. THT, Mr. Talen Horton-Tucker. Mr. Horton-Tucker was good for 6.3 points per game, 1.7 rebounds per game, 1.3 assists per game, all while shooting 45% from the field and 35% from beyond the arc. I did say 45%, not 35. Gentlemen, what would you grade Mr. Talen Horton-Tucker?
I gave him a C+.
Oh, it's higher than I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, I was between a C and a C+. THT is such a weird player. Not the fact that he looks like he should be playing in a rec league. Yeah. But one game he'll go out and score 20 plus points, and then the next game we'll be lucky to get 5 from him. Like, he is so inconsistent. We've kind of seen the reason the Lakers let him just leave, because he really can't be trusted to be an everyday starter. He can't be trusted to get big minutes, because who knows if he's going to show up. if he can stay consistent, he's probably our best bench scorer. But right now, I really don't see the Bulls bringing him back next year because we could bring anybody in that can score 6 points a game. He's fine. Like, I just wish he could be more consistent.
Dan Gracie, what was your thoughts on Mr. THT?
I mean, I gave him a C, pretty much like a solid C. Pretty much for the same reasons Scott just said. I mean, he's inconsistent. He's mid at best. You know, like, just because you never really, like Scott said, you never really know what you're gonna get with the guy. Like, he'll be look like an all-star one day, and then next game he'll look like probably the worst, like not the worst player in the league, but like bottom tier of the league. So yeah, I give him a C because he's not good, he's not bad.
As for me, I'm going to give Talen Horton-Tucker a solid C. And it's nothing personal. It's just because the fact that when the man was on the court, he did everything he was supposed to do. He brought entertainment. He brought scoring. He has a great way to get to the basket. He's got a great jumper. The only issue I had with Talen Horton-Tucker is you really didn't know which Talen Horton-Tucker you were going to get that game. Like you guys mentioned, he'd come out and have a phenomenal game where we're asking for more THT, and then he'd come up the next game and not really do as well as he did before. Not really holding it against him. I'd like to maybe that grade would be a little better had I remembered what teams he didn't do so great for. Maybe he didn't play as well for better teams, but nonetheless, I don't feel like Talen Horton-Tucker is one of those players where I wouldn't want back next season. I'm ready for a round 2 with Talen Horton-Tucker. I feel like he's earned his spot on this team, and he's starting to be. And like I said, he's a fan favorite, Chicago's own. And for a player who comes off the bench and gives you 6-point-something points a game, why not? He provides energy. Why not? Solid C. But gentlemen, you know who the next player is? You won't know until next episode. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to do this to you. However, for the sake of making this episode 3 or 4 hours long, because we still have a few more players to cover, we are going to cover the rest of the roster next week. We'll be putting out 2 shows, consecutive weeks. We'll be doing this, and then the following week we'll release part 2 with the remaining rosters and players that we want to discuss. We are going to pick up next week with Kevin Herter. But before we go, why not?
Sorry.
For the heck of it, let's just do our Mount Hornsmore. And this week's Mount Hornsmore is give me your top 5 favorite male actors.
No order. Mr. Batman himself, Michael Keaton. If you guys I love Michael Keaton. If you haven't seen the new Beetlejuice movie, amazing.
Okay.
Number 2, Sam Rockwell. I love Sam Rockwell.
What's he in?
Have you seen Jojo Rabbit?
Yeah.
He is the gay Nazi.
Oh, I have okay. See, tells me nothing. I haven't seen Jojo Rabbit in a long time.
Just look up Sam Rockwell. You've seen him before. Everything he does is amazing. He's in a movie he's in a movie called Moon. It's one of my favorite movies ever. Number 3, yes, Sam Rockwell. I love him. Number 3 is Daniel Radcliffe. I don't care about any of the Harry Potter movies. Everything after Harry Potter is amazing. Swiss Army Man might be the best movie I've ever seen. It's so fucking good. I try to watch everything that he does because what he does is he has money, so he just picks what he thinks is funny. He's really good in Miracle Worker. And if you have not seen the Weird Al movie, it's so great. It's so funny.
I have not.
I forgot about that. I forgot they even made one.
Yeah.
Number 4?
Number 4, Gene Wilder. I love everything Gene Wilder did. It was
Mr. Willy Wonka.
Oh, not even just everything he's done is been amazing because he just commits. There's a really good documentary I want to say on Netflix about him. He's really old in it, and it's like kind of sad, but it's just like everything he did was great. Like he was so good for comedy. Him and Richard Pryor together were amazing. Yeah,
Go to old school. Richard Pryor.
Number 5, I don't know if you guys are going to know who he is, but he is probably my favorite British comedian, Richard Ayoade. He is.
Never heard of it.
You're not going to see him as a main character in anything. He's a supporting character, but he is one of the funniest people ever. He is so great. I love Richard Ayoade. Yeah, that guy. I love him. Yes. He is so,
what is he from?
He's mostly
I know this guy. He was in the It Crowd and
yeah. He's mostly on TV shows, but he's on like he's like a supporting character in a lot of movies, but he's really funny, and he's on a lot of British like comedy shows, like the panel shows, and he's so good in them, in every one. But he's a really good actor.
Sal, have you seen the movie is it The Watch or Night Watch with Ben Stiller?
Yeah. The Watch. Yes.
Yeah. He's in that.
Yeah.
Which one was he?
He was the British guy.
Yeah.
He saw that
he's
so
great.
many times.
Yeah. That's my list.
Solid list.
I didn't know it was going to be male actors.
I was wondering that.
Yeah, I put Emma Stone on there at one point, and then I was like,
she's not an actor.
Well, she's an actress.
She's an actress, not an actor.
Yeah, that's why I had Emma Stone on there, because I love everything Emma Stone does. But then I was like, these are actors. Yeah. So that's my list.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do the next week for part 2 of this episode.
Yeah.
We'll do actresses next week. I like it, Scott. Dan Gracie. Hold on. Dramatic fist. Fist is in your court. What do you got?
Vin Diesel.
This is no, definitely not.
It's family,
but,
Dan.
I mean, shut the fuck up. So I used to be like really into like movies and shit, but like lately, I've been just like pretty much just watching like Marvel and Star Wars shit. And that's pretty much my like go-to films. But for this, I do have Tom Hanks on my list because Tom Hanks is a great actor. I challenge anyone to name a bad movie that he's done.
That terrible D&D movie. One of his first movies was like a propaganda D&D is bad and it's gonna ruin your child's life, and it's Satan worshiping.
That doesn't count. Yeah. Yes.
But I know what you're saying. But like Prime after Big.
Yeah, everything after Big was amazing. Turner and Hooch, fucking obviously Forrest Gump and whatnot.
Money Pit.
Second, Bill Murray.
Oh, Bill Murray, good.
You gotta love Bill. He does great work. I love him even now that he does like the indie kind of stuff now, but I mean, he's still a great actor, and you can tell when he's really passionate about a project. Another actor, Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell, good.
Will Ferrell, because I love comedy, and I love almost all of Will Ferrell's movies. Like Anchorman defined, that was quotable for us for years and years. Talladega Nights, Blades of Glory, Semi-Pro. I can go on and on.
Yep.
What is that? 3? Oh my God.
I will say this, that Wander Vision or whatever that was, that where he was like,
Eurovision or whatever.
Eurovision. That movie was terrible.
Yeah, that movie was bad. Like, comedies.
They all make one of them. They all make
comedy's kind of dead now. Sucks.
Exactly. Number 4.
Number 4, I'll say Donald Glover.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
The Lethal Weapon guy? Oh, that's
No,
Danny.
No,
he's
that's
not.
that's Danny.
Okay.
Donald
Apologize.
Glover, no relation.
Donald Glover. Is that This Is America, Child Gambino?
Yes.
Yeah, Childish Gambino.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons why he's on the list, because like, yeah, that's not acting, but he can spit straight bars. But when he does act, he fucking kills it. ATL is a great show. Or not ATL. Is it ATL or Atlanta? I think it's just Atlanta. And then whenever I watch Community, I always just stop it when like Troy's not on the show anymore, because it stopped being funny.
Oh,
I
I forgot he was on Community.
Yeah, he's great in
Well,
Community.
I didn't finish it.
No.
All right. And number 5.
And number 5
comes after 4.
Because I love comics so much, and because this man was a goddamn legend. He didn't do much acting, but he was in a lot of movies. Stan Lee.
Stan Lee. Okay. Interesting. Hey,
Just
you know
cameos.
what, man?
Just cameos. I
Cameos
can't think of a fifth actor right now. I'm not gonna say like Tom Cruise comes to my mind, but fuck Tom Cruise.
I don't like Tom Cruise.
I don't really care for Tom Cruise.
He was great in Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah.
Tom Cruise? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll say Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller's my number 5.
Oh, Ben Stiller's
Okay,
great.
Ben
Great
Stiller.
director
Yeah,
too.
Good. Yeah, great list. All right, let's see. My list. See, here's the thing. Like, I'm a big comedy person. I don't really care for many dramas or horror movies. So, like, my lists are all going to be straight comedians. I think my favorite comedian of all time, or favorite actor of all time, it's gonna be very stereotypical. I'll save him for last. So number 5, I'm gonna piggyback off of Dan. I'm gonna say Tom Hanks, just because he never had a bad movie. He literally has never had a bad movie. Captain Phillips. There's this one movie, I forgot what it was called, but it was recently. The guy named Tom, or
called Castaway. Oh yeah. I know what you're.
the guy named Tom, or whatever it was. Great movie,
Yeah.
Castaway. Number 4. You guys may disagree with me. Will Smith. Will Smith has the ability to bring. He is, and you know all the whatever with Chris Rock
post slap,
whatever. All that aside,
pre-slap. Wait, well,
no. Even after that, the man still makes movies that I can watch regardless of that. So, honestly, probably would be my favorite actor if it wasn't for number 1 on this list. Number 3, Adam Sandler. Any Adam Sandler movie, I watch those on repeat. Those are the movies I can watch on repeat. Adam Sandler movies.
You like Jack and Jill?
I'm not saying he doesn't make bad movies. I'm just saying he's my favorite, one of my favorite actors. And for those of you who are just checking us out now, we actually did a Mount Hornsmore of Adam Sandler movies. So if you have time, go check out our episode and find out what our Mount Hornsmore is. Number 2. Okay. He hasn't starred in many, or I shouldn't say he hasn't starred in many movies. He hadn't starred in a lot of movies because he was so tragically taken from us, and that was Chris Farley. Chris Farley on SNL. I think the 90s, that era, the 90s, 80s of SNL was like the best SNL ever. I think like movies like Tommy Boy, Black Sheep, Coneheads, Beverly Hills Ninja. Those are like the movies that defined my childhood. I can watch those to this day on repeat. But number 1, you guys are.
I'm very curious to see who your number 1 is.
You guys are gonna.
We already know it's Vin Diesel.
It's not Vin Diesel.
Is it Paul Walker?
It's
Is it Ludacris?
No.
Is it Tyrone or Tyrese?
It's
Tyrese?
just the Fast and the Furious, just everybody's the Fast and Furious.
Hey, just name it, everyone on the cast. No, gentlemen, my favorite actor of all time, appropriately fitting, is the one, the only, Mr. Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci. Okay.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci, man. The man's got phenomenal movies. My Cousin Vinny.
My Cousin Vinny? Yeah.
I've seen that movie 4,784 times, give or take
Tomei.
1 or 2 times. Yes, Marissa Tomei was in there. Enough said. I just and you know, I know what it is. He reminded me of my Uncle Joe. Every time I watched a movie with my cousin or with Joe Pesci, he always gave off the vibe that my Uncle Joe. He reminds me of my Uncle Joe.
I can see that.
Yeah, see,
I can totally see that.
So it's like watching a movie with your family member, and I don't know, like all the Italians, we all feel like we're related if you go back far enough.
We're all family. It's just Olive Garden over here.
Yeah. So any movie with Joe Pesci, I can watch it. Casino, My Cousin Vinny, you know him.
Yeah.
Good movies.
Oh,
anyway,
real quick, I want to throw since I just threw Ben Stiller in, you can take someone out and put in Robert Pattinson.
Oh, okay. Oh, you guys each have. Oh, now I feel bad because you guys each have a character from a childhood like book. I mean, you have Twilight. He has Harry Potter.
I could really honestly give two shits about Twilight. I don't think I've ever seen a Twilight movie.
Oh, yeah. I do have an honorable mention. John Cena. Hilarious.
Yeah,
hilarious in everything he does.
How are you watching John Cena? Because you can't see him.
Well, that's the problem. Like that. What is that scene in where he's in the movie theater? It's that I forgot the name of the movie. It's the one with that
cock blockers.
I don't know. Either way, he's in the movie theater and like he's trying to watch a movie and like people behind him are being rude and he gets pissed and he's like, "I will suck your dick." It's so good.
I think that's Trainwreck. Was that Trainwreck?
Yeah, it's probably Trainwreck.
He's amazing at it. But yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Done.
Interesting. So that was probably one of our more entertaining Hornsmores. I do think not The Rock. I do think John Cena, very underrated actor. I think that they need to put him in more stuff. But anyway,
turn actors, yes.
That was Mount Hornsmore. Besides next week's episode, that's already been decided. If you do have a Mount Hornsmore that you would like to see, drop it in the comment section down below, and we will accommodate you as such. But gentlemen, we've reached that sad time of part 1 of our report card episode, and I'm asking you, gentlemen, do you have anything for the Horniacs? Before part 1, before part 2, that is, of course.
Sure. I have nothing right now. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Quick and easy. Good.
All right. I have something for the listeners. Well, mainly so this goes out to our Hispanic listeners and listeners that have friends of Hispanic members. ICE is going around this great country of ours, the United States of America, and currently they are grabbing legal U.S. citizens and sending them to El Salvador, probably one of the worst prisons, if not the worst prison in the world. Judges are asking to bring back, and they are not. This isn't meant to be like a political thing. This is more of a right versus wrong kind of thing. No U.S. citizen ever should be picked up by ICE, by the cops, by the FBI, by the CIA, by anyone really, when they haven't really done anything wrong. And you can't say that they have done anything wrong because they're not even doing a due process. We don't know if these people really are here legally or illegally. But even if you are here legally, you still have constitutional rights. So I just wanted to give a kind of like a public service announcement, kind of, I guess. Just be safe out there on the streets.
Very nice. Very well said. Take care of yourselves, everybody. As for me, what do I got? As far as we'll see you in part 2, I know that the Bulls regular season is over now, but it really, doing these report cards, I know we're only halfway through them, but it really makes me excited to see what the next season has in store for us. I mean, every year it's like by the beginning of the season, we're pissed off at the team, and then by the end of the season, it's like a bad chick flick where at the end of the movie, or at the beginning of the movie, you're like, this is dumb. I can't believe I'm sitting through this again. This is terrible. Why am I wasting my time? And by the end of the movie, you're like, well, wait, that's it? It's done? Like, whatever happened to so and so? You know what I mean? So that's just how I'm feeling right now. I can't wait for the next season to start already.
I'm excited.
While I have you guys on the air, though, we've been putting out more merch. So visit our website, www.denzelrange.com. We just put out probably one of my favorite shirts that I've ever designed. You will know what it is when you get there. Dan knows which ones I'm talking about.
Yes,
It
sir.
proudly sports one of America's favorite logos. I'll just say logos. Not so much logo. They know which one it is.
Possibly one of America's most popular websites. Just no one wants
I
to admit.
wasn't gonna give them that. I wasn't going to say that, but yes, it is a play on words. I love it. So go over there, check it out. Promo codes to follow. But outside of everything else, stay tuned for episode 2, where we'll be breaking down the back half of the alphabetical order of this Bulls roster, and tune in to hear what we think about Niko Vucevic, Coby White, and Patrick Williams. It should be a fun show. With that being said, we encourage our Horniacs and our Bulls fans to see red, go Bulls, and come on back for part 2. Good night, everybody.